We're going to be talking about alcohol, which will be personal stuff we will be talking about.
When I say to you alcohol, tell me what you think.
There was nothing good about alcohol there, I don't think. There is nothing good about alcohol.
The project really came about from some research that was carried out in the city back in 2006, and the findings from that research identify that there's great concern that over a third of our young people are drinking alcohol, not just in small quantities but in rather huge quantities.
You end up in different places, you don't know where you are.
We needed to be proactive and not wait for the situation to get any worse, and knowing that most of our schools already have healthy school status, and as part of that they will be delivering some quality alcohol education, and therefore we needed to maybe find a different way to deliver quality alcohol education that would also be really effective and have an impact on young people's not only knowledge and skills but their attitudes and behaviour around alcohol as well.
Yeah, that is an important one, don't you think?
Why did you put that at the bottom? That's very important.
Yeah, we're not like preaching at them to say stop, no.
National and local research shows that peer education can be a really effective tool in developing young people's knowledge, their skills, challenging their attitudes and behaviour around specific health issues.
So when you wear them, it's like you've been drunk.
Really dizzy, blurry.
Whoa.
It's really important for young people to be involved in the process of developing the project, because we need to find out from them what they think the issues are, what their views and opinions are, what their knowledge is, what their skills are, so that we can develop a project that's relevant to their needs, and having that ownership empowers them to go on and deliver that project to their peers and makes it much more effective because it belongs to them.
I've chosen to be a peer educator because I would like the year 8s to get out of it a bit more willing in themselves to say, I don't want to go to the party and get drunk, I'll go to the party, but I want to go and have a good time and be myself and not be drunk and not know what I'm doing. To have like more responsibility for themselves and care a bit more about their health.
It's everybody's responsibility to support young people in terms of educating them to make better informed choices around alcohol.
How long does it take the body to break down 1 unit of alcohol?
When we first set out with the project, we identified 4 schools across the city. They were hotspot areas around alcohol misuse for young people. I went into schools to try and recruit year 10 pupils, and teachers spent time identifying any young person that they thought might be at risk or vulnerable from alcohol misuse.
Teaching them about alcohol and what the causes and effects do to you, and if you drink too much of it and the dangers of it.
It was really interesting because when the peer educators first started working with me, going from the attitude of well it's cool and it's what everybody does, to actually admitting that now they understand from their own experiences maybe the dangers that they've been putting themselves in. Now they understand the impact of drinking in excess and where that can lead to for their future life.
It's really, really bad for your health, and it can cause like really bad family problems. If people got problems at home or something about alcohol, like if we're walking on the corridor and somebody comes up to us, then we help them, we give them advice on what to do.
Peer educators have 3 days quite intense training, and as a result of that developed their own knowledge around the risks and effects of alcohol, developed their own skills in terms of learning how to cope with peer pressure, learning how to be more assertive and being able and confident enough to say no, taking part in lots of activities that challenge their own attitudes about do you need a drink of alcohol at a party, questions that are relevant to their lives now. The young people also looked at other behaviours that were related to alcohol, for example risky sexual behaviour and antisocial behaviour.
It wasn't her that was speaking, it was the drink. It was the drink that was thinking for her.
The peer alcohol project's been a success this year, mainly because of the year 10s who've been really enthusiastic about it from the start, and they have really enjoyed going into the lessons even when it's been difficult for them, and they've learnt a lot from the project. They've become more confident, you can see them more confident, and they're volunteering to do more activities in school.
Some of the successes of the project have been the fact that Year 10 students have benefited in their own learning through the project, but also they've learnt how to teach difficult issues to their peers as well.
It's 7 p.m, the first drink of the night.
We used a drama company that gave them an opportunity to have some fun, to relax, to get to know each other better, but at the same time reinforce those skills that they need within the classroom environment as a peer educator.
Well, what can we do instead?
There's a lot more you can do instead of drinking alcohol. Just use your imagination.
Some young people will say that it may not change the fact that they'll go on to have a drink. How they drink is very different, and they understand the impact that that can have not only on their health but their well-being as well.
Well, if anyone offered me a drink of alcohol, I would say no, because I know the terms and conditions, what can happen to me, the short-term conditions and the long-term conditions, and I know it can affect my body.
If someone asked me, I would be able to refuse peer pressure because it's dangerous and I want to live my full life.
It's just taught us not to be put in any pressure if anybody offers us a drink, and to drink responsibly and take responsibilities for our own actions.
If I did ever drink alcohol, I don't think I'd drink and get really, really drunk, so I don't know what I'm doing.
It's probably not going to stop me drinking when I'm older, but it is definitely going to have an effect, because I'm not going to drink as much to get drunk, because when you get drunk you do things that you regret.
I know now how it will feel to be drunk, and I don't want to make myself vulnerable to people who pick on drunk people.
Now I know what the damages are, and I'll think twice of drinking loads.
The peer education process has been really successful because not only has it allowed us to develop a project within a classroom, but we've also been able to look at how we can educate young people more broadly. So we've been able to invite Year 6s in to watch drama performances that delivers key messages around alcohol misuse. We've been able to hold family learning events where parents have come in and carried out a variety of activities around alcohol education with their own child in Year 6 to reinforce some of those key messages that are really important for parents to understand and learn how to support their children around alcohol.
We have enjoyed all of our lessons, and in ours we had 2 Year 10 students instead of the normal teacher, and we've done a lot of fun stuff with them.
The Year 10s, you know them and you do want to listen to them. I felt the educators made everything interesting, put it into games and things that we had to say to each other, and I felt that made the sessions better and more interesting.
When you're getting taught by Year 10s, you can relate to them and they relate to you. They understand your views.
The Year 8s have benefited because they're being taught by their peers, so rather than being preached to, which is quite often what happens on subjects like this, they're talking to students that are making those choices for themselves at the moment, and they can ask them questions that they perhaps wouldn't ask a teacher, and they've really enjoyed the activities that they've been given to do because it is that bit different to what they would normally do in lessons. I definitely would do the project again with the Year 10s next year.
After the initial success of the project within the pilot schools, the project is now being published and has been launched to all schools in the city to use as part of their programme of work to deliver alcohol education. Alongside the publication, teacher training is actually provided for each school to make sure that staff are confident, to make sure that project is delivered effectively and does become sustained as part of the alcohol education programme.
I enjoyed the beer goggles because instead of warning you, felt what it was like, because most of us don't drink and then we knew what it was like, but I don't want to be like that.
In lesson 2 we had to test our attitude towards alcohol, and we had to walk to each side of the room, agree, disagree and not sure, and it was really interesting because it showed how people's opinions differed to mine.
In lesson 3 we learned about if someone is trying to give you a drink, how to refuse, and that you can always refuse and you don't have to drink it.
In lesson 4 we learnt about how alcohol can affect you by media and advertisements and things like that.
I enjoyed the quizzes because it told us some facts about how it damages our bodies.
I've learnt that you shouldn't drink at a young age because when you're older it will damage your body.
Well, I've learnt that drinking doesn't help your problems. Some adults can be responsible, but other adults they drink over the limit. But I comes home and my mum's not very happy with me, so.
Over the last year, further research has identified growing concern over the number of young people who may be affected by parental alcohol misuse. The impact of parental alcohol misuse on a young person can be really harmful. For example, they may suffer very low self-esteem, lack of confidence, they may feel very isolated, not have a very big friendship group. They may actually take on the role of a carer within the home, which again isolates them from taking part in young people's activities and living that lifestyle as a young person. They may not achieve very well academically.
We won't be your mate if you don't have a drink.
The majority of youth today are drinking.
If Derby City did win the Champ Award, it would be a fantastic opportunity for us to develop an idea into a working project. The project will support the needs of young people affected by such issues, remove the barriers and difficulties that they face as a result of parental alcohol misuse, and allow them to go on and achieve better positive outcomes for themselves. Through being part of this project, young people will develop the confidence and the ability which will allow them to then go on and tackle the issues within their life.
I've enjoyed talking to my mates about alcohol.